So Harry and Meghan have retreated back into their multi-million pound celebrity lifestyle. And since their interview, they have made no further comment. They waded in with allegations causing what may or may not be irreparable damage. But the unanswered question is still, why would Harry set out to knowingly damage his very own family? I'm Sue Blackhurst, and if you want to learn how to analyse the observable behaviour of other people, then I'm going to tell you how to do it at the end of this video, so do stay tuned. And if you haven't already subscribed, then do that now. And whilst you're at it, why not follow me on Instagram to gain more daily insights? Harry and Meghan don't appear to be looking for any resolution. They both threw grenades into Harry's life and then turned their backs and walked away. To the outside world, I think it looks as though they both wanted to instill maximum damage and then disappear without any backlash or repercussions on themselves. In snooker, they call it a shot to nothing, which is an expression that means that whatever you do, you cannot lose. So if the interview went well, they would both gain worldwide support. But on the other hand, if the interview went bad, they would both gain worldwide attention. But what is really interesting is that Harry and Meghan went into this interview with very different levels of risk. Meghan was at zero risk because she was in a position where she simply just couldn't lose, because no matter what is taken away from Meghan, she will always be in a better position than she ever was before they got married. And of course, with Archie and one on the way, her future is well and truly secured. But Harry, on the other hand, well, he went into that interview and he had everything to lose. He may not be bothered about his titles, but surely he must care about what they represent. And this now leads me to question why on earth Harry agreed to throw grenades at not only his own family, but at the public perception of him and his relationship with his formative life. Well, maybe Meghan is already planning her political future because she seems to have already mastered the tactic of to divide and conquer. The expression means to break up large concentrations of power into individual pieces that, on their own, have less power than yourself. And from looking from the outside looking in, Harry certainly seems to have lost all of his power without his family beside him. And getting him away from William and Kate is almost like taking somebody's sword and shield away from them when they're going into battle. So whatever press they both received and whatever action the royal family are going to take, Harry is the only one that can lose. But is it a coincidence that the more he loses, the more he needs Meghan and the less able he is to return to his former life? The royal family may be an institution based upon some outdated and old traditions, but isn't that why millions of people flood to the UK every year to see the pomp and ceremony that make the British monarchy so unique? From changing the guard to a royal wedding or a state funeral, the British do it better than anybody else. But the future of the monarchy will slowly adapt as William will one day become king. And with that, he is bound to make his very own changes. But this also reminds me of a line in the film SpiderMan. I love those films. When Peter Parker's uncle says, "With power comes great responsibility." And when William has the crown, he will have both. But it's almost as if Meghan believed that marrying Harry would give her the crown, and she left the party when she realised that it wasn't a game of pass the parcel and she actually would never get an opportunity to wear it. Harry either did not see or he ignored the potential long-term damage that was being caused. So instead of reacting to everything that Meghan wanted but also didn't get, he should have listened and questioned whether there was any value from what he was hearing on both sides. In the end, he fought against everything and everybody that he knew. And from day one, William advised Harry to take his time. And from that very day, Harry took Meghan's side, refusing to believe that she also needed, to make an effort to adapt and make it work. So instead of negotiating, they walked out of every conflict, slamming each door firmly shut behind them. And from last year's Commonwealth service, there was virtually no effort made to hide the conflict and damage between the once hailed Fab Four. William and Kate were obviously hurt by what I suspect was both personal and professional reasons. Because going live to millions to say that your father has basically turned his back on you is not the advice anybody who really genuinely cared about Harry would ever give. Both Harry and Meghan did speak very highly about the Queen, but saying that they had a good relationship with the Queen in the same conversation as making the allegation that she's head of a racist household must have the bookies stopping all bets on whether resolution will ever be found. Conflict is usually caused through inaccurate or unchecked facts and information, with either or both sides intentionally or unintentionally misrepresenting information or events. Every day, people misunderstand what somebody else has said or done. And as we look at the world from our own point of view, it's really easy to jump to conclusions based upon our very own perceptions. So if I face you now and I ask you to point to the wall on the right, we will all disagree. Because the reason being that we are both right. We are just looking at things from a very different perspective. So in other words, it's only when I try to see things from your point of view, let me sort of turn around here. So if I turn around and see it from your point of view and I point to the wall on my right, that we will ever be able to resolve our disagreement. And here we have a no-win situation. Because the biggest and most damaging allegations of mental health and racism can't ever be challenged without the risk of further damage to the royal family. So without a name and the specifics of exactly what was said, and more importantly, the motive behind the comment, there is a no-win outcome because the damage is already done. As the two sides are pushing and pulling in opposite directions, the royal family are, at this moment in time, doing their very best to stay calm and work through the barrage of abuse that's been thrown at them. But on the other hand, Harry and Meghan do appear to have gone into battle with an ever-diminishing army. Harry is losing or has lost his long-term true and loyal friends. And isn't it telling how Meghan's friends are always the ones to share stories of what's been said behind closed doors? But yet, to this day, Harry's friends seem to have kept their silence. Harry's losing his brother and his sister-in-law, and the two people who, beyond doubt, were the ones that he could share his innermost thoughts, fears and feelings with in total confidence. They were family, but I also think they were best friends, and they made a great team. He's also losing his nephews and his niece, and the best playmates and friends that his own children could ever have. So I wonder how many long-term friends Archie and his little sister will have as his mum and dad turn their backs on anybody who dares to challenge or ceases to fit in. But what I think is really sad is that Harry has lost the British public. He's losing the support and love from the very people who watched him grow from the day his mum stood on the steps of the Portland hospital. Gosh, that's so long ago now. No matter what controversial situations he's got himself into, and let's face it, he has made some serious errors of judgment, to the British public he could do no wrong. And if he could send love through the television set, it would have engulfed and carried him as he walked behind his mother's coffin. We all prayed for his safety when joining the military, and we rejoiced when seeing him with his girlfriends living in hope that he'd finally found true love. But at this moment in time, there is no turning back the clock because he can't ever unsay what has been said. So only time will tell whether any remaining opportunity for resolution has been destroyed in just 90 minutes of prime TV. There are no rights or wrongs when it comes to personalities and behaviour because sometimes we compliment somebody else and sometimes we simply clash. But understanding how and why that happens is the key to building more harmonious relationships. So if you want to learn why you think and react the way that you do and how to adapt your very own communication to understand and win over the most difficult people, just email me the words "tell me who I am" to the email address below. It's also in the description box. Thank you so much again. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Instagram. And please do like, comment and share this video if you can. Do take care and I will see you all next time.